Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin and you are watching That Christian Vlogger. So I've just returned to the Northwest from a really fun work trip. For those of you guys who've been following me on Facebook or Instagram, you know that I was invited down to California to do some preaching and teaching at Glendale Filipino Church. Now, this church holds a really special place in my heart, as it was nearly about 10 years ago that in that very church that I made the decision to give my life to Jesus. All in all, the messages were a huge success, and it was a lot of fun to see so many friends and family members and even some of you YouTube fam come out night after night. Today, I want to share with you guys a little something that I was thinking of last week. So as many of you guys know, my father is a dentist. In fact, we did like an entire video together with him just a few days ago. So if you'd like to check it out, you guys can click right over there. But it is really weird having a father as a dentist. You might think that since my dad is a dentist, that my oral care would be perfect and that I'd never have a cavity or anything like that. And while I was younger, this was certainly more true of me at the time. You know, I would go to the dentist regularly like anybody else, and I would have my teeth cleaned on a regular basis. But then as I started to get older and started to get more busy with life, this became more challenging. Especially after getting married and moving to Philadelphia, it made visiting the dentist, my father, so much more difficult since he was living on the other side of the country. And even though every single time I would basically come and visit home, my dad would remind me that it's time for a checkup, and he would try to basically get me to book an appointment. I would consistently put it off using lack of time as an excuse as to why I couldn't go in. The reality of the situation is that I was really embarrassed and afraid to go in. I know that I hadn't really been brushing and flossing like 15 times a day like my dad would like me to, and I was kind of afraid of what the hygienist was going to think, afraid of what my father, the dentist, was going to think, and it's kind of this fear that kept me from going in for nearly 2 whole years. Well, this last week, unfortunately, I couldn't really use that excuse anymore and finally agreed to get my teeth checked out. Here at the dental office, I'm just like pretty much everyone else in the world. I also hate going to the dentist. There's my hygienist right now. She's cool. As I was sitting in the chair getting my teeth cleaned, I couldn't help but see the irony of the situation. Here I was avoiding coming into the dental office for fear of judgments, while moments before I came into the office, I was feverishly brushing my own teeth in a last-ditch effort to redeem myself, to try and clean myself up before going to the very place that my problems could be taken care of. As silly as that may seem, how often do we as human beings do that very same thing with our walk with God? How many times do we try to clean ourselves up and make ourselves good before coming to Him? Sometimes we might be afraid or embarrassed of how dirty we might be, and that oftentimes does stop us from coming to the only place that we can actually be made clean. In Luke chapter 5, Jesus says, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance." And as guilty as I am for hiding out of fear from the dentist, I hope never to do this with God. I hope never to allow my pride to get the best of me and to stop me from going to the one place where I have been guaranteed acceptance, grace, and love. And if you happen to today be feeling a little bit like me and have been either hiding from God or your dentist, I hope you have the courage to do what I did last week and just go in. Till next time, I'm That Christian Vlogger, and I will encourage you to experience faith in the first person. God bless. Many of you guys have been asking me if the messages that I preached in California would be available on this channel, and the answer is a sort of yes and also kind of no. I will be sharing bits and pieces of the messages that I prepared here on this channel for all of you guys to enjoy in the near future, but the full-length messages will be available only to those who are supporting this ministry on Patreon in their entirety. So if you would like to check out those messages, feel free to join us in our little community over at patreon.com/thatchristianvlogger.